Good afternoon, YouTubers. T-Squared with T-Squared Talks. So we are running a few minutes late. I apologize for that. As I got on to set up the show and to start up putting everything in order, I go live and it forced me to do an update. I'm one of them people that I don't like doing the updates. And so when it had asked me to do my update, I wasn't ready. And then I had to click yes because I kept pushing it back further and further. So tonight's show, as you can see in the title, is inflation good? The greatest lie ever told, in my opinion. A lot of people think, and this is something that I've heard more and more people say, man, why we keep getting prices just keep going up. I hear that. But we need inflation. What? And this was something I've never actually heard people say until recently. Well, we need inflation. I was like, what? And I was like, what do you mean? Well, we need 2% inflation. And I was like, why do we need 2% inflation? Well, that way we can get paid more and we can have growth in our economy. And when you really understand what inflation is, I don't see how 2% is good. And I don't think most people understand that when they inflate the money supply, they're basically stealing money from you. They're stealing 2% of your money. But we put up with it because our house goes up in value, and you hear people say stuff like, well, my house went up in value. So that's a little bit about some of the stuff we're going to be talking about tonight. I don't know if we'll have a super long show. I guess it depends on how many people show up. I see we got Jimmy in the room first. How's it going tonight, Jimmy? We got Chris B in the room. How's it going, Chris? Hope you're having a great night. And we got Michael C in the room. How's it going, Michael? Hope you're having a great night. I was actually talking to Michael before the show earlier, before I thought I was going to be able to have the show, but I'm running a little late because of the updates, like I said. But we were talking about the deal on silver. And I was kind of at a toss-up on if I wanted tonight's show to be about what we're going to be talking about, inflation, and why it's not a good thing. However, the other topic that I kind of wanted to talk about was the lie of where do we put our money. Because, it's discouraging. I talked to a few people that bought into gold and silver when we were seeing it go up, and now we're seeing it come down, and it's discouraging. It's discouraging when stuff that we invest in goes down in price. For instance, silver has gone down recently. Gold has gone down recently. Bitcoin has gone down recently. The stock market, it's dipped a little, but it's still up there. And I think it pushes people to this belief that, well, obviously gold and silver is not where I want to be if it's going down in price temporarily. Except they don't put temporarily. They just say if it's going down in price, I don't want to be invested in it. And that's true. Nobody wants to be invested in a losing asset. However, if you really understand silver and you understand gold, you understand the markets and that type of stuff, then you understand that a lot of the reason why gold and silver go down is because they're putting paper contracts basically to cover big purchases. And here's the thing. A lot of people will not take custody of their silver. And when people don't take custody of their silver, then essentially, you're just betting on whether silver is going to go up or it's going to come down. We have Bumblebee in the house. How's it going tonight, Bumblebee? Hope you're having a great night. And when you're just betting that something will go up or down, we'll say silver, for instance. If you just want the money, you're just betting, okay, silver goes up, I make a profit. Silver goes down, I lose. But when you actually hold an asset, like you're holding physical silver or you're holding physical copper, physical gold, whatever the case may be, it's not the same. I mean, I sleep very well at night knowing that no matter what happens, I'm going to have it. I don't care if silver goes to 20. I don't care if silver goes to 10. Because I know statistically they're going to need at some point the gold, they're going to need the silver, and eventually the big mining companies are going to shut down again. They're not going to sell it at too low. They're not going to sell if they're losing money. Now, I'm not saying they're losing money right now. However, we know the cost of energy is going up. The cost of oil, the cost of gas, the cost of electricity, the cost of everything is going up. And eventually when it looks like I got a haircut, a little trick there. I actually have it in my hat right now. No haircut. Well, I guess I did get a haircut like a week ago, but it's all tucked under there. I just had my beard trimmed up. B trimmed it up for me I think Tuesday. Maybe it was Monday. Might have been Monday. But needless to say, when the cost of everything is going up, you have to understand that if it costs money to make something, they're not going to be able to sell it for cheaper than the cost of making it. It's not profitable. There's no way they can do it. There's no way they can sustain a business model of, I want to lose money. They're not the federal government, who tends to lose money on almost everything they touch, but yet they want to be involved in everything they touch. And the more people realize that is when the game is going to change. And what I mean by that is people don't understand right now that just because gold and silver is coming down, you can't physically buy it at them prices. So I know me and Michael were talking before the show. Hey, the sales are starting. Silver went down to 22. And if you guys did not see silver today, it did dip below 22. I hadn't checked it until I got on Discord with him. If you're not following us on Discord, I highly recommend you look us up on Discord. We have a great room where everybody from the channel will get on there. A lot of great deals when people are looking for a specific coin, when they want to sell a coin. A lot of people will get on there. If they have something they're wondering the value of, they get on the T-Square Talk Discord. They join the group. It's free to join. And they'll kind of post pictures of what they got and different stuff. And with all the knowledge, there's a lot of knowledge in that room with all the different people that are into different stuff. Some people are into stocks, some people are into crypto, some are into gold, silver, collectibles, all kinds of stuff. So highly recommend joining. And another thing, if you're not subscribed to the channel and you're watching this show, please hit that subscribe button because it really helps out the channel more than you know. We are trying to grow our subscriber base, and I thank you all for watching. And please hit that thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think. But back to the gold and silver. So today we did see another pullback in those assets, and we're going to take a quick look at them, and then we're going to have a little bit of a talk on what's going on and what my thoughts are, because the truth of the matter is a lot of people think that this inflation is good. And it's great that my house has gone up in value. I mean, at one point, when you buy a house, let's say you buy a house for $70,000, hypothetically, and you owe 70 grand on it, and your house is only worth 70 grand. Well, okay, you're in debt, your house, but you have a house. Then all of a sudden, inflation comes, and your house on paper is now worth 100 grand. Maybe we'll make it for easy math. We'll say 105 grand. So it went up by 50%. Your house is worth 105. But everything you buy on a daily basis is up 50%. Does that put you in a better spot or does that put you in a worse spot? Well, technically, you're not selling your house. So it really doesn't matter what your house is worth. You're not, but you are consuming the items that you buy every day and every week. Whether you go to the grocery store and you buy stuff and you're paying 50% more, that's a bill essentially. Your electric bill, your water bill, a lot of those come up with bill at the end because they are liabilities, and a lot of people just don't realize that is what's going on. And that does not put you in a better spot, because at the end of the day, the value of your home really doesn't matter. I mean, I don't care if someone evaluates my house at 70,000, 105,000, or 140,000, because at the end of the day, it's an asset and you own it. And until you're selling it, it really doesn't matter what the value of it is. But people just don't understand that. They think they're doing better because the value of their home went up. And I'm sure on paper, if you're looking up your net worth, that is great. If you're trying to look good on paper and have an amazing net worth, Well, that's great. Your house is worth double. You owe 100, you only owe 70, but it's worth 140. And maybe you've even paid it down 10, 20,000 or whatever you've paid your house down to. On paper, you look good, but it doesn't change the status really of your monthly bills, how much you're spending, that type of stuff. So the sooner people realize that, the better off we're all going to be. Now, on the other note to that I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about is this belief that inflation is good. This 2% belief that 2% is good, but 10% not so good. You know, that when you really look at what inflation is, it's basically them printing more money and raising the value of assets. And that's because you have more money chasing stuff. So let's just say for a quick second, you live in a town with only 100 people, or we'll say an island. You live on an island with only 100 people. And let's say, I'm going to use names in the chat room real quick. Let's say Michael decides, he puts some work in. He puts a lot of work in. He grows some tomatoes. We're on an island in the middle of nowhere. He's got some fresh tomatoes. But unfortunately, he only has enough tomatoes for himself and maybe 10 extra tomatoes to give to other people, to share with other people, to sell to other people. Well, if everybody only has $1, well, the most he's going to get for a tomato is $1 because everybody only has $1. You can only take what people have. But if all of a sudden everybody just started printing more money on the island, and now everybody had $10 on the island, and you're hungry and you really want a tomato, I mean, essentially you can bid more money for that tomato. I mean, Michael's not going to sell a tomato for only $1 when all of a sudden everybody's got $10. It doesn't make sense. And the reason it doesn't is because when Michael takes that $1 and he goes to buy something else with it, he's not going to get that much. He's going to get a bigger bill for whatever he's buying. If he goes to Bumblebee and says, "Hey, I need a haircut. I'm starting to look like Castaway on this island." Well, Bumblebee might say, "You know what? I'm not going to cut your hair for $1 because everybody's got more money and I can't buy a tomato with $1." But as time goes on, what I think would happen on that island, and we don't know because we have not been there yet here in the U.S. because we believe in the dollar. But down the road, as time goes on, I believe what would happen is Bumblebee would say to Michael that, "Hey, I'm not going to cut your hair for the $1, but I'll tell you what, you give me one of those tomatoes and I'll cut your hair." And that comes up with a bartering system because eventually, the money just doesn't buy you as much. And the more people start looking at the barter system, the less need people have for those dollars. Now, we're not at that stage yet, like in the example on the island. We're at the stage right now of the rising prices, where in the scenario that we're living in, Michael would say, "Well, I'll sell you my tomato, but I want $5 now because I only have 10 and everybody's got $10, so I want more money for my tomatoes." And then what is Bumblebee going to say when she gets a haircut? Well, she's going to say the same thing. "I'm not willing to cut your hair for $1. I would like to get $5. And then I'll take my $5 and I'll go buy my tomato." But what's happening on another note in that process is a tax. So when you factor in a tax, now both Michael and Bumblebee have to pay a higher percentage on tax on that tomato and that haircut because Uncle Sam wants his cut. Uncle Sam is the king of the island, and he sits on the island and does nothing. He produces nothing. He does absolutely nothing. He just sits there and collects a percentage of every transaction. And that works great as long as people keep using the dollars. And that's kind of where we're at now. But as time goes on, people will catch on to what's going on, and they're not going to want to use the dollars. They're going to want to go to a bartering system. Now, to avoid this, though, the problem comes up if someone says, "I cut your hair and it takes me 30 minutes to cut your hair. So Bumblebee cuts Michael's hair. It takes 30 minutes. And Michael grows a tomato, and it takes him 3 months. So the question then comes up, well, I don't know if I want to trade a haircut for a tomato because it takes me longer to grow the tomato. And then the bartering kind of starts having a little bit of a problem. And then Uncle Sam sits there and he's like, well, that's why you should be using the dollars. Why you should be using the money system, the dollar system. But then as time goes on, I believe people will catch on to assigning another type of money. Something that holds value that there's a limited supply of. And that's where I believe gold and silver will kind of come into play. And we're nowhere near that yet, I don't believe. But what smart money is doing right now, they're already starting to buy that gold and silver. They're trying to get ahead because if you're on that island and you know seashells are in limited supply, or you're in the real world and you know gold and silver are in limited supply, well then, I mean, you could be the smart money and start getting those seashells. Start going on the beach every day and collecting them. Or you can, in today's world, start buying a little bit of gold and silver every day. But unfortunately, too many people just don't understand that. And when people all understand that, everybody is going to be combing the beaches on that island looking for seashells. They're all going to be out there trying to find seashells because seashells, I better be careful how I say that because I have a crazy accent. Seashells. When I say certain words, and I know seashells is one of them words that if I start saying it too fast, I'm sitting there like Sally's picking up seashells on the seashore, and then I start messing it up. So I'm going to be careful how many times I say seashells. Needless to say, the same thing is going to happen with money. Right now, not a lot of people are smart enough to understand that gold and silver is money. They believe right now that, okay, gold and silver was taking off in value, and so therefore, hey, it looks great. But wait a minute. I bought silver at $28, and now the paper is saying that it's $22. But nothing's changed. The actual dynamics of silver and gold have not changed in any way. And so people that think that this silver is worth less because some piece of paper, some government organization says it's worth less, well then they need to realize that who's controlling the worth of the silver and the gold. Who sets those prices? So if you go back to that example that I said about the island, I mean, Uncle Sam, the king and the ruler of the island, is not going to want you to start using seashells. He is going to want you to keep using his paper. And so what will happen is he'll say, no, seashells ain't really worth anything. They're worthless. In fact, I mean, we can pretty much just give you seashells. I mean, think about it. They just grow in the ocean. I mean, there's an ocean full of them. Kind of like our Uncle Sam in our world is saying silver's not worth anything. There's tons of it. We haven't even collected it all. In fact, there's an asteroid up in space right now that's billions and billions of tons of gold and silver. And eventually we're going to start mining that asteroid. And you really think you're going to be mining it at $22 an ounce? I mean, really? I mean, it doesn't even make sense. I'm going to say the garbage that people believe now. I mean, they say something on TV or in the news and people believe it. There's no way we're going to fly all the way up into space and tow an asteroid back into Earth's orbit so it's moving around the Earth just so we can go up there and mine gold and silver and bring it back to Earth when gold and silver is practically worthless, especially silver. And here's the thing. People believe, no, that's going to happen. That's going to happen. And I laugh when I hear it. So we're going to jump over real quick. We're going to take a look at what is going on. Please, if you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure you do hit that subscribe button. We are trying to grow the channel. The more people subscribe to the channel, it helps us out. It grows the popularity of the channel, and it does really help us out more than you know. Please hit that thumbs up button so it will help us out with the algorithm. So if a lot of people hit that thumbs up button, then more people will see this video, and then it really helps kind of catch the channel, get the channel going a little further in the right direction. We have a lot of different great videos. I am putting up more videos on food preparation. I've started doing both on some of these videos, a long explanation video. So if you don't really understand what you're doing, you can watch the long-term preservation video. That's like long-term rice. That's like 18 minutes. Or you can just watch a 3-minute condensed version of that, both of which should give you the same things, but a lot of people don't understand what is a Mylar bag. I don't understand what a Mylar bag is. If you watch the 3-minute video, it's just going to tell you, get Mylar bags. You get them on Amazon or eBay. If you watch the 18-minute video, you're going to get more explanations on what the airtight means. Why does food stay longer if it has no access to moisture, if it has no access to air, if bugs can't get into it, all the different aspects. And I really break that down in the food preservation extended version. But if you just want the basic version and you kind of have an idea already, maybe you do a little prepping already. Because I do believe that if you don't have a food source, whether that means you grow your own food, you raise your own food, or you just have a nice pantry stocked up, ready to go, I think investing in gold and silver is not the best thing for you to do. I mean, I don't make money when you invest in food. I don't make money when you invest in gold or silver. I don't make money when you invest in crypto. This is not a financial channel. This is just my opinion channel. And I think food and water needs to be your number one concern at first. But once you have a small stash of food, a nice pantry, you've got a little stockpile, then I think you should look into gold and silver. Now, if you know me personally, I try to help out a lot of my friends on where they can get good deals. But if you don't know me personally, then I post a lot of videos up on the channel on great deals. And a lot of these great deals are passed on from people like you. I mean, Bulltide, we got Bulltide, who's Chris over at Universal Coin and Bullion. We also have Chris, which is Chris B, who tends to find some amazing deals, including the one that's on that top playlist right over here, where you got 10 tenth ounce gold coins for $2,000. That's basically $200 a coin. Now, I know some people are going to be like, you paid $200 for a dime-looking coin? Yes. I remember 5 years ago when I bought those same 10 coins for $1,000. They were $100 a piece. Now they're worth $200 a piece. But we're also seeing silver go up too. So when you start seeing stuff go up, that is the next step. So the first step needs to be food preservation because prices are going up. Food supplies are unstable right now. And with any kind of a major breakdown, it's good to be self-sufficient. Now, when you get into investing, the next thing after that is you need to prepare for what's going to go up in value. Now, not everybody believes in gold and silver. Some people believe in Bitcoin. Some people believe in cryptos. Some people believe in Shiba. You guys know I'm heavy into Shiba right now. I really believe Shiba Inu will do really well over the upcoming months. But at a certain point, it will be time to get out of these assets. What I mean by that is if Shiba all of a sudden skyrocketed to 70 cents or 20 cents or whatever, well, I wouldn't want to be in it anymore because I look at the supply versus the value. How much is something worth? Now, I know a lot of people are against, if you're pro gold and silver, you're against cryptos. And if you're pro crypto, like a true pro crypto, diehard crypto, you're going to be against your gold and silver. But here's the thing. You can have some of both. I mean, I look at gold and silver as real money because it is real money. And I look at cryptos as the casino poker chips. when I take a vacation and I go to the casino, and a lot of times I'll even take my casino chips out of the casino. I'll bring them back up to my room. I'll throw them on my nightstand. I know I'll go back to the casino while I'm on vacation, whether that be in New Orleans or Las Vegas. But then when I'm done, before my trip's over, I always change those casino chips in. I'm not going to take the chips home unless I make a mistake. I have left some in my bag, and then they expired. Literally, my poker chips were worthless, and it was too bad because I had over $100 worth of poker chips from Harrah's Casino in New Orleans, and they do expire. They put out a memo that says all your poker chips need to be traded in, and then after that date comes, they no longer accept them. I mean, it's a really sweet deal when you can make up fake money and then put an expiration date. And that's a casino. But what a lot of people don't realize is you can see that in the real world. When people think that can't happen in the real world, yes, it can. We've seen examples in some countries where they change the money, and if you want your old money to be good, you have to turn it back in. So people that believe, oh, I'm safe because I'm holding dollars. No, you're actually at double risk. You have so much risk you don't even realize it. Because first of all, the inflation of you holding those dollars is getting you. But then on top of that, if they ever change the currency, those dollars have to be traded in a timely manner. And if you're holding too many of them, the questions are going to start coming up. How do you have that many dollars? Where did you get them? Well, I've been saving them on my mattress for years now. And then they're going to wonder. And to a certain point, it's your responsibility to prove where you got that money from. Because unfortunately, Uncle Sam wants his cut. So that's why I do understand the difference on the cryptos versus gold and silver, but there's a time to use the cryptos. If you believe in the short run, they're going to be able to keep kicking this can down the road, and you want to gamble a little bit, like when you go to the casino, you have a good time, you put a little bit of money down on a number on the roulette reel. That's basically what we're doing. There's 1,400 cryptos. They can't all go up at the same time. It's like 36 numbers on a roulette wheel. Technically 38 if you count the 0 and the 00, which are green. You know, not all those numbers are going to hit at the same time. Yes, eventually number 8 may hit. But how many other numbers are going to hit before 8 hits? And how many times will you lose? Now, yes, if you're willing to hold the crypto for a long period of time, you're holding on for dear life, then, you know, you might. But it comes with some shocks. And at the end of the day, a lot can happen. The casino that I go to in real life could shut down. Well, here's the thing. The crypto market can collapse. We've been seeing a huge pullback that a lot of people are just associating this with an end-of-the-year pullback. And that's true. I believe that right now we are seeing a end of the year pullback. We're seeing taxes. A lot of people are selling their cryptos for taxes, but we're seeing some people sell their gold for taxes. Some people selling silver off. I'm not convinced though that cryptos can stay for the long haul. Cryptos are relatively new. They've only been around for like the last 10 years. Gold and silver has been around since the beginning of time. In 100 years from now, will 14,000 cryptos remain? I don't think so. I think we may still use some sort of crypto technology, but there's not much that separates one crypto from another except for popularity and demand. And if you think that's an incorrect statement, it takes nothing more than pulling up the top 50 cryptos and watch how they move around. Yes, Bitcoin has sustained its top spot. Ethereum, Binance, Tether, you know, those are your top 5, have been pretty much top 5 for a while. But what have we seen? We've seen Doge all the way up into the 6th ranked spot. And now it's came back down to 11th. We've seen Shiba up to the 9th ranked spot. But then actually I think it might have even been up to 8th. But then we've seen it come back down to 13. You know, but the thing about gold and silver is these assets have been here since the beginning of time. And unfortunately, they want to tell you that, oh, wow, if you've invested in silver 30 days ago, you're down 9% of your money in just 30 days. Okay. If you invested 6 months ago, you're down 20% in just 6 months. If you've invested in a year, you're down 8% for a year. But if you've invested in silver for 5 years, you're up 30%. Oh, whoop-de-doo, 30%. You would have made more if you put it in the stock market or you put it in Bitcoin. Hindsight is always going to be 2020. So when someone tells me, anytime I point out how good an asset has done, they're going to point out some asset that's done better. Like they knew that asset was going to do better. Because here's the thing. If they knew it was going to do better, they probably wouldn't be making a YouTube video on it. They would be on a beach somewhere enjoying their billions of dollars. And I'm not going to tell you that I know better, because I don't. I'm just, like I said, I'm just another person giving an opinion on stuff. And this is my opinion. But when I hear people say, you know, these arguments, I just think to myself, are they nuts? And I really do think that. Because I try to reason, put a little logic into stuff, something that has had value for thousands of years. I mean, if you are a religious person and you believe in the Bible and Jesus, you would know the story of how Jesus got sold out for a lousy, 30 denariuses? And essentially, that ain't even an equivalent to 5 ounces of silver. Can you imagine that? Selling out your best friend, or even a friend, or even an acquaintance for a lousy 5 ounces of silver that's valued at $22. Would you sell out your best friend for $100? Probably not. And if so, you're probably not a very good friend. So, you know, these fake numbers are just insane to me that people believe this. And I do see it. I see that it's coming down. I know a bunch of us are going to make some calls tomorrow and see, hey, what kind of deals are they running? I'm going to be calling Bull Tide up tomorrow. Hey, what do you got for deals? I've talked to a few people. They're going to be calling up their coin shops. And if I see Bull Tide on here, I'll ask him what he's running for deals if he pops in, because a lot of people are going to start looking. But I believe right now we're seeing it drop in price on the paper price. Premiums will come down a small amount, but they're not going to be anywhere near 22. I mean, I would like to see silver, so I'd like to see some Eagles at $27. I don't know if 5 over is being a little too, I'm going to say, wishful thinking, but I'm hoping. Another thing, when you take a look at the gold price today, you can see it did drop. It only dropped a small amount. However, any drop is kind of doesn't make sense, because in the real world, we're not seeing anything come down in prices. Name something that has gone down in price, and you're not going to find it. Nothing is coming down in prices. I mean, yes, maybe you could make the argument gas has came down. My gas came down about 30 cents. But a lot of that has to do with people not traveling because what's going on. And a lot of that also has to do with us releasing our strategic reserves, stockpile reserves of oil and gas, and then convincing other countries who are having the same problem as we are to do the same. And then you're putting a trust in these other countries that they're doing it. Because ultimately, if we release ours, and then we're not buying oil and gas from overseas because we're using our reserves, and they're holding their reserves, they're getting it cheaper naturally anyway, because we're not consuming as much naturally. But I do believe a lot of people aren't consuming right now as much. And I think, though, eventually this is gonna depend. I want to be careful where I go with this. What's going on in the economy is probably going to get worse come this winter. Give it a month, and I think a lot of people will be staying home. Maybe a month and a half. People will be staying home, and they won't be taking travel. They might be going to work, but they're not going to be extending themselves to any more than they have to be. And as that happens, that is going to plunge the oil and gas prices. But it's only going to be temporarily, because what's going to happen after is eventually summer's going to get here and things are going to wind back down, and then all of a sudden people are going to want to get out. They're going to have been cooped up for a while. Maybe they save some of their money. And then all of a sudden they're going to want to go spend it. And we're going to see it kind of break out again. So gold coming down, though, like I had said, closing out today at approximately 1779. Which, I'm not worried. I look at it as a better deal, a better buying opportunity, because when I look at what the trend that we've seen gold do, I mean, if you started buying, and this is kind of funny because I actually had a buddy of mine who bought gold when I was stationed in the Middle East. He only bought one or two coins every payday. So in the military, we got paid on the 1st and the 15th, and he was buying basically 1 ounce of gold every single payday. And at the time, you're only talking $500. I remember it being actually around 4 at one point, 4 something. But according to this chart, in 2020 on this day, it was $517. So even at that rate, you've multiplied your money by 4 times. And I remember it's sad because, younger people are not always the nicest. And I hate to say that because when I was younger, I remember teasing this kid because I didn't understand his viewpoints on gold and silver and precious metals. And so I told him, I said, why would you I'm trying to help you. Why would you put your money on gold and silver when you can put it in the .coms? I said, literally, look at all the money I've made in the stock market during the .com industry. I mean, it was great. However, I was lucky. I was lucky because I ended up getting out of the .coms before it crashed, only because I was buying my first home. I was young. Steven, not Bay, he was young. He was newborn, and I didn't want to have a huge debt over me, and I wanted to buy my house. And so I bought my first house. I cleaned out my stock market account. And it wasn't even a month or two later that it tanked. And it was over. The .coms were like what I believe is going to happen with cryptos pretty soon. Everybody wanted .coms. .com this, .com that. It didn't matter. It didn't matter if you made dirt.com where we sell different kinds of dirt. Don't go in your backyard and get it. Buy it off dirt.com. And literally, people would invest in that. They would pour money into it. I mean, think about it. The insanity that people had was crazy. And that's kind of the insanity that I'm seeing right now with cryptos. Every crypto that comes up, literally, you can get sushi coin, you can get haircut coin, you can get Bitcoin, Dogecoin, Dogcoin, Uncle Dogecoin, Papa Doge, Baby Doge. I mean, I've got a list on my phone because as a joke, I wanted to add every single Dogecoin to connect it to my Trust wallet so I could monitor all. There was, at the time, 64 different Dogecoins. And literally, they just Rebel Doge, Yankee Doge, Southern Doge, New England Doge. I mean, the Doge list just goes on. And I wish I had my phone beside me, but I don't keep it by me because I worry that someone's going to call. And so I didn't have it with me. But literally, it got ridiculous. And it's getting ridiculous now. But it doesn't mean that some of these cryptos are going to they're not all going to go away. I don't believe. Just like after the .coms, they didn't all go away. And I don't believe all of the cryptos are going to go away. I'm picking the cryptos that I think are going to be here to stay. With that being said, every now and then, I go for a long shot. I go for a long shot because I think, hey, if this pays off, I mean, that could make a big dent. I could convert that to a lot of gold and silver when I take my chips out of the casino and move it into real money. And that analogy is basically my poker chips and my crypto coins, and my real money is gold and silver. Gold and silver that will be with you until the end of your days, or until you decide, you know what, I need some money. I had an emergency come up. I got to fix this or fix that, or I want to buy this, or whatever the case may be. You'll have it. So, it's something that a lot of people just need to understand, and they're going to keep inflating. They're going to keep with their money printing. They're going to keep pumping assets even higher, because at the end of the day, they need prices to keep going up. Why do they need them to keep going up? So they can tax you more money every time you spend it. If they raise the money supply to where everybody tomorrow was a millionaire, in their mind, that would be great. Why would that be great? Because if everybody's a millionaire, they know there's only so much supplies. There's only so much resources. If silver goes to $100 or gold goes to $10,000, who cares? When they buy it, they'll have to pay a tax on it, and then we'll make even more money. Now, granted, I'm in Texas. Texas is a no-tax state when it comes to gold and silver, unless you're buying jewelry. If you're buying any kind of bullion coin or bullion gold or silver, we don't charge a state tax on that. But some states do, and that's how they make a lot of money. They're looking for ways to make money, and the easiest way is pump up assets. I mean, 2% is great for them. That's why they tell you 2% inflation is the target. It's what we're looking for. But what they really want, they'll take whatever they can get. Well, you know what? If you're paying me, let's just say hypothetically you rented a house from me, $500 is good, $800 is better. Hey, if I can get $1,400 out of you, I'd rather have $1,400. Because at the end of the day, more is better for them. More is not better for you. 2% is them stealing 2% of your money. 5% is stealing 5% of your money. But yet the average person out there believes if you're stealing 2%, that's good because it's good for the economy. It's not. I don't care if that asset values go up or not. At the end of the day, I don't buy gold and silver to essentially make money. I buy it to protect my money. And a lot of people need to realize the difference of that. Now, that's great when gold and silver goes up. And if it does go up, that's great. But at the end of the day, it's the items that I want later. That is essentially a retirement that will be there forever. Moving on real quick, we're going to take a quick look at the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones ended up, slightly down. I wouldn't even really say the Dow Jones went down today, but it did go down 0.00016%, closing the day at 35,754. I still believe that this peak eventually we'll see it come down. However, we're not seeing it drop. And we could see everything start really getting crazy and possibly even seeing the NASDAQ and the Dow Jones really just go through the roof as this trend continues, because more money does lead to increased prices. The question is, where is your money? What are you investing in? What do you put your money on? If you're keeping it in a bank account, they're not even giving you interest anymore. That's the sad thing. And then on top of that, you look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ did today drop basically 1.71% or 269 points, closing the day at 15,517. Here's the thing. What happens when housing values collapse? What happens when the stock market collapses? What happens when cryptos collapse? A lot of people think, it's not going to be the end of the world. Tell that to the people that lived in 1929 when people lost their jobs. Because here's the thing. Think about this. When a company's stock comes crashing down, what do you think the first thing the company does? So I actually talked to someone today, and I got told that their company is restructuring. And I'm like, restructuring? What does that mean exactly? Why are they restructuring? Are sales down? They just said they're restructuring. Restructuring? People restructure to reduced cost. I mean, think about it. you restructure your employees, you restructure your budget, maybe you refinance your house. It's to put you on a path of sustainability because you're seeing that your sustainability is not on track with your sales currently. And when people start seeing that, it definitely is a scary thought. Now, so that's going to conclude the talk for tonight. However, I am going to go over and jump over, read through the comments, see what people are saying. If you were only here for the talk, I thank you guys. I hope you hit that thumbs up button. If you came in late, I hope you hit that thumbs up button. But now we're going to kind of look at what we got for some comments. I don't always get to catch up with all the comments while I'm giving the talk because it's kind of hard. It's easy for me to get distracted and jump over there and start reading what people are saying and then essentially kind of lose thought in what's going on. So jumping over to the comments, let's see here what we got first. So I left off at you got a haircut. I did not get a haircut. It's still all in there, tucked in. It looks like I did, but I didn't. It's all still there. It's just kind of a ponytail that was tucked under my hat, so nobody would even know. I can't see getting a haircut. I love my hair too much. I mean, who knows where I'll be. I might be in like Jamaica someday pretty soon, or one of these countries that don't have high taxes. Scrolling on through, taking a look. Let's see. I want the country to value my house less, so I pay less in taxes. And see, that's what people don't get. Yeah, oh, my house is valued at $250,000. Look at me. Look at my beautiful house. You know what? I don't care. Look at the tax bill that you pay every year. I mean, and you're absolutely right on that, Michael, and that's why they do that. See, I fight my taxes every year. A lot of people don't know that you can argue your home values, your real estate values. They're going to want to push it up. They're going to want to make it, now they're going to want to make it more. However, a lot of people don't know Texas actually passed a law. They can only go up by 10% a year maximum. So I've actually brought the value of my home down. Currently, I'm not putting any repairs in my home. Now, I know that sounds bad to some people, but here is why. By not putting the repairs, keeping it 100% immaculate and up to date, I can submit those photos to the tax agency, and they're going to evaluate my home, and they're going to be like, oh, how come you didn't fix it? I even had one tax agent tell me, this happened last year, he goes, well, we gave you the write-off last year so you could fix it. No, you didn't. You didn't give me anything. You evaluated my home at the value that it's worth. You did not give me any money to fix it. Therefore, I did not fix it. I allowed you to lower the value of my home so I could pay you less in taxes. And you know what? At this point, you guys know my ultimate goal because I tell you guys pretty much everything. I mean, I'm an open book when it comes to this stuff. I don't plan on living in my current house for too many more years. Whether that means I want to go live in the country, the next town over, or I want to go live in the Philippines or Mexico or up in the mountains or whatever it may be. If I don't plan on staying here, I would just rather they lower the value in taxes because here's what will happen. Let's say I decide in a year from now, hey, I'm going to sell my house. How long does it take to do repairs on your house? I can fix the stuff in a matter of a month or two, and then instantly I've raised the value of my home. That will affect me on the next tax cycle. However, if I plan on selling my house before then, it's not going to affect me. It's going to affect the other guy that gets my house. And then on top of that, it really doesn't matter because even if I don't fix the stuff and I get someone to buy it for, let's just say $100,000, the new tax appraisal is not going to be less than $100,000. They're going to say, you just paid $100,000. We're going to charge you taxes on a home that is worth $100,000. And it will be his responsibility to go in there and fight it. And here's the thing. They're not going to bring it down drastically. So when you understand these rules, and I've done a great video on this, but no one's probably ever seen it, how to fight your taxes, how to argue your taxes out. I did a good video because a lot of people just don't know it. And I did that video, but it was one of my like early videos. It was only like my 5th video on YouTube. And I did it because, you know, when I first started YouTube, I would get asked, well, how do you save so much money? How do you do this? How do you do that? And so I started YouTube with some of these tips and tricks. How, at the time, we were able to eat at McDonald's for free. And literally, we drove through in a video 3 or 4 times just getting free food at McDonald's. We just kept circling the building. I was with my son. It was kind of comical. There's a lot of little tips and tricks, and I used to have my videos tailored just to that. And then as time went on, it was more about preservation. And as time goes on and I get older, a lot of my videos will probably switch more to being more self-sufficient and enjoying essentially my retirement. Why did I go through preserving my wealth? For what? Why did I do all that? Well, I did all that because of where I want to be in a few years from now, 5 years from now, whatever. And I'm expecting that a lot of my friends here on YouTube, all of you guys that are watching right now, will be a part of that journey. Moving on, checking the comments. I want mega ounces, so the more it goes down, the more I can buy. I'm looking for a sale. Exactly. So the same thing people are saying right now with cryptos. As cryptos go down, I can get more crypto coins for less money. And that's great, but here's what I worry about. What happens when you pour your money into anything and it doesn't go back up anytime soon? Now, that can happen with cryptos. That can happen with .coms. But I don't believe that can happen with solid assets that we need for technology. And what I mean by that is gold and silver. We use it in the green industry. Same with copper and other precious metals. As we want to grow, we're going to need more of that. Do you think it's going to matter? I mean, take a look at this new bill they're trying to pass on solar vehicles. You'll get a $14,000 tax credit if you buy an electric car that was produced here in the U.S. And you can finance that car. You can take a loan out on it. So I'm not a new car fan. I don't like spending new money. I apologize, it's hot. I got my windows open, and we had kind of a warm front kind of sneak up on me. So I'm actually considering, I'm not a new person, but I'm thinking about buying a new car. Why? So I can get the tax credit. So I can get that tax break. It's a new vehicle. I'm waiting to see how it all irons out first and if they even approve it. They're putting a lot of stuff in, like if your batteries on your car were not made in the U.S. and they did not come from a union place, then you don't get the whole tax credit. So I know Elon Musk is not happy about that because he gets his batteries from overseas. He's made a deal. A lot of his batteries are not produced here in the U.S. So he was really upset that if you buy a Tesla, you're not going to get the $14,000 credit. But if you buy another electric car, you'll be okay. I mean, here's the thing. If I'm going to get a $14,000 credit, I would probably want the least expensive electric car that I can buy. Why? I mean, I'm convinced another electric car is going to run good. I'm going to get my huge rebate. And shortly after that, who knows what will happen. But with that being said, that's kind of one of the things that I'm kind of been researching and looking into right now. I want the, okay, scrolling down through, Jimmy in the house. How's it going, Jimmy? Silver Wolverine, how's it going, buddy? I'm scrolling through. Okay, feeling great. No trade, B. A tomato for a haircut. So we pay no taxes. Exactly. So, and that's the thing. When people trade an item for another item, you can't really, it's kind of hard. I'm not an IRS agent. I'm not an accountant by no means. But I would expect that will start to come up, that more people will want to barter. You got it. Thank you so much, Michael. I'm glad I hit that dead on with that comment. What is up, NoCo Silver in the house? How's it going, buddy? Hope you're having a great night. Scrolling down, food, number 1, because you get angry when I am hungry. Because I get angry when I'm hungry. Yeah, food needs to be number 1 because it's something you absolutely need. If you have extra food on hand, I have extra food on hand. If I want to save money this month, because I like that silver's coming down in price, I'll eat food that I have on hand. I mean, I have a lot of food on hand. Very few people have seen my pantry. Not many have. But I have a fair amount of food on hand. And essentially, if I don't want to go to the grocery store, I can take from my pantry. If I don't have a lot of money this month, I can take from my pantry. Yeah, I'm not eating fresh steak and lobster. I've got to eat frozen steak, frozen lobster, or canned vegetables. But at the end of the day, it helps. What is up, Peter? How's it going tonight, Peter? Hope you're having a great night. Yes, that is happening. The LOCK down is happening in down under right now. So it's never been. I know a lot of people say it can't happen here. You never know what could happen here until it happens. If you told me the rules that are going into place right now were going to be that this is what they were going to do, if you told me this last year was going to happen 5 years ago, I would have laughed in your face and told you there is no way that is going to happen in the greatest country in the world. But little by little, we are finding out that anything can happen here. And so when people say inflation or hyperinflation can't happen here, I think people don't realize it can. Scrolling down through, if they change the currency, when? See, here's the thing. We haven't changed the currency here yet. If you have an old Mercury dime or a Barber dime, you can still take it to the bank and spend it. You can still cash it in. You'd be a fool because it's silver. We've already changed the currency, but we're still willing to accept the old currency because the old currency is actually better than the new currency, which makes me wonder, what is the next currency? If this keeps up, the old currency was gold, silver, then we'll say gold trade notes that were tradable for gold and silver, but it was still paper. Then it was non-tradable notes. What comes next? Well, my thoughts are the next thing is going to be a digital currency where there's nothing. They don't have to produce nothing. They just tell you, bam, there's $1 million. Bam, there's 1,000. Bam, I like you. We're going to give you an extra $1 million. That's what they're going to be doing. Let's see. Scrolling down through. The end of the year should be a Santa rally. But it's not happening this year. I'm not convinced the sales are there at all this year. I think this is going to be our worst Christmas in a while when it comes to sales. They wanted to try to say, oh no, it's because everybody's buying online. No, because the sales on these stores are down. See, you can't hide the fact that when you go Black Friday shopping and there's no one at the store, or there's not a long line that's like literally people camping out the night before, which I have done before, you can't hide that. So they're going to make up a story that says something like, oh, everybody's buying online. But here's the thing. You can't hide those numbers when the actual earnings report comes out in the end of the fourth quarter, because companies are going to have to report how much money they made. And when that comes up, that's when it's going to get crazy. Silver Wolverine, I just bought gold at my coin shop yesterday. Video may be up tomorrow. I'll definitely check it out. I love watching coin shop videos. I just really enjoy them. I wish I had some good coin shops close to me. I have to drive a little ways. I've made friends with the ones up towards San Antonio, Houston, Dallas. That way I could get deals, but I got to go all that way. And it has to be a really good deal for me to want to pay the gas to go that far. T-Square Talk, after you talk to Bull Tide, post his American Silver Eagle price on Discord. Thank you. I definitely will. Oil only released 3-day supply from the National Reserves. Well, here's the question on 3-day supply. Is it 3 days total supply, or they just released 3 days supply? Because here's my thoughts on that. If they put out 3 days supply, then that would plunge the price instantly. But here's the thing. It's going to average out, I believe, and it's going to keep the price down by basically 10, 20 cents, probably through the holidays. I think maybe come Christmas time, we may see oil and gas spike because a lot of people are still going to want to travel. I mean, if I drove to my family, unfortunately, my family are 100%. So therefore, I don't get to see them because they are older and they firmly believe in it. And I joked with my dad yesterday or the day before, and because we were talking about, he wanted me to pick him up something and basically just give it to him. And I said, well, the problem with that is I may never see you again. He's like, what? I said, I may never get to see you again. Why? Because I'm not, and I don't plan on it. And he's like, well, there's a quick fix to that. I said, and I don't plan on it. So who knows? We'll see what happens. I don't want to get too much in some of the news that's out there. If you guys want to hear more on that topic, check us out on Discord. I should put a link or a actual conversation just for that topic because it is a hot topic. I've actually been wanting to take a cruise, but unfortunately, the new rules, you can't do that if you're not. And now look what just happened to one of them ships recently. If you follow the news, I'll post it in Discord. Let's see, scrolling down through. What is a good price for junk silver? I mean, I got to use my phone to see a good price on junk silver. I look at the junk silver price on Coinflation, and then from there I kind of break it down depending on how much I'm getting. You're never going to get it straight for the actual price, but who knows, T-Square Talk buys the haircut coin. Don't joke. You ain't far off. Because B loves coins. She has now gotten into coins, and she loves coins. So I'm sure if anybody brought in, she would probably be willing to work a deal out. Let's see here. Scrolling down through. Are you, Civil Wolverine, are you just buying gold right now? Comment came in. T-Square Talk. Okay, let's see. For the most part, silver premiums, in my opinion, are gouging. And I've heard that from a lot of people. With the premiums on silver so high, a lot of people are moving to gold and silver. And that's great. To a point, I believe that gold and silver is a safe haven asset. Just like, well, gold is a safe haven asset, just like silver. However, the safe play is gold. I'll be honest. But if you want something a little more riskier, then essentially I kind of like the silver aspect. I like the varieties of silver. I don't see a lot of, if you want collectible / bullion, I don't see them options as many for gold. And the price is just so high on an ounce of gold, it's hard to afford that. If I get an ounce of gold, I'm only buying like an ounce of gold a quarter every 3 months. Whereas an ounce of silver, I could probably, pick up 4, in a week. Maybe if I just threw $100 at it a week, ponytail. Yeah, I don't know if you can still see it. It's getting there. Let's see. I bought a 1/4 ounce gold eagle. Now, before I finish reading that comment, that reminds me, I actually did look up the, and now I can't remember the name of it because I actually had a couple. I actually went to my banks this past week, opened up my safety deposit box, and I wanted to see what I had for gold coins. I actually had some old gold coins that were kind of, I think they were the British coins, because it had some guy on the back. He was on a horse, and then on the front it had like a queen. And then I've got some with just different ones. I think those are the francs that we were talking about one day. I should have taken a picture of them. I actually have them up anyway on my Discord, because a lot of the stuff I've picked up, I'll throw it on my I'm sorry, I said Discord, on my Instagram. But it's been a while since I posted on Instagram. I really should make that a New Year's resolution too, to get back into doing that more. Scrolling down through, what is up, Renee? I'm sure by now you're probably already off, but thank you so much for stopping in, Renee. I know Renee sometimes likes to just stop in. He's usually at work, and he'll just stop in, hit that thumbs up button to help me out. So thank you for that, and thank you for anybody else that did hit that thumbs up button. But like Silver Wolverine was saying, I bought a 1/4 ounce gold eagle yesterday for less of a premium, percentage-wise, than I can buy 1 ounce of silver. Had to put that percentage-wise in there. I was like, wait a minute, what? Less? And the reason I laughed when I said that is, when you got an ounce of gold at 1,800, we'll say, I mean, you might pick it up for, let's just say you pick it up for a 5% premium. Well, 5% on $1,800 is $90. So, that's the thing with that. But yeah, I mean, premiums are lower on gold. However, you're going to spend a whole lot more money on gold as opposed to silver. Let's see. No mods in here. You're right. There are no mods in here. None whatsoever. I didn't even realize that. Where's Adam? Adam's not in here tonight. Adam, where's Adam? Let's see here. Yep, you're right. There are no mods. Darn, Jimmy. What is up? I had to look real quick to see if there were any. Let's see. Yeah, but you shouldn't need the... I'm just going to do this for now. Yeah, and that's my argument. So you guys can read the comments. Some comments I don't read. We're not talking. I'm going to give you an analogy here using gold and silver. What is up, Scott? How's it going tonight, buddy? What's up, John? How's it going? I see John popped in the room. Scott popped in the room. How's it going tonight? I'm going to use an analogy like Michael just said. What I invest in, or what I do, is what is going to protect my future. So if I want to buy silver or gold, I'm buying that to protect my future. Whether or not you decide to buy gold and silver shouldn't matter to me, because you need to do what protects you, and I need to do what protects me. And that's a great comment. That comes back to the comment of why I can't go visit my parents right now. If you believe everything they're saying, you should be covered. And that's too bad. I should tell him that. But I understand on the flip side, he's worried about my well-being, and he believes in his beliefs because Fox News tells him. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. But I'm not a fan of. I think they're all, whether you are a Fox News person or a CNN or whoever the total left is, whether you're right or left, I think the news media is taking a side, and they're extreme on that sides. But it makes sense, exactly what you said. Everybody needs to look out for themselves. I I think, though, the rules are going to get crazy in the upcoming months, and that's too bad. But we will see how that plays out. So that's a great comment, though, Michael. I appreciate that. With that being said, this was a great show. If you made it into the room late and you want to start watching the show from the beginning, I highly recommend you do. We did, I think, an amazing analogy. I love it when people said, oh, you got it dead on. That's exactly right. That's a great analogy. I appreciate you saying that. I hope everybody enjoyed the video tonight. Let's see. Fractional gold has a higher premium than buying 1 ounce coins, but when I can buy fractional quarter ounce eagles for less premium, 15%. Let's see, 15% versus over 20%. So just so you know, too, for those of you guys that are gold fans, we put up a deal a little while back, and I opened up and told everybody about the deal. I don't get anything for saying this or recommending this, but this video right here, end of the year deal on gold on sale, this came out to a 1 ounce, 10th ounce gold coins for $2,000. It was actually $2,028. That comes out to roughly an 11% premium. This, in my opinion, was an awesome deal. And I do believe that if you can get anything, the lower the premium, the better. That was an amazing deal. And I've even told a couple of my friends, hey, if you decide to get it, get all 10. And if you don't want 1 or 2 of them or 5 of them or whatever, I'll work you out a deal and I'll give you the cash back on it. Because I think that is going to be a amazing deal down the road. I really do believe that gold and silver is not going to go away. It drives me nuts when I hear people say, well, gold and silver is not even going to be talked about in a year from now when Bitcoin takes over. Do you really think that if it was that easy to cut out, I don't know if I should say the man upstairs, because I am a religious person, so I don't want to say the man upstairs, to cut out my good uncle, my crooked uncle, if it was that easy to cut him out, do you believe he would allow it to happen? I've had a belief from the get-go. I do believe that it was my uncle, who's always watching, that actually did create Bitcoin. And they just put a name on it because they don't want people knowing, because nobody likes that uncle. And if nobody likes that uncle, it only makes sense that he would not want to say it was his creation. But we'll see what happens to Bitcoin over the years. Time will tell. I hope it has at least one more good year ahead of it, and that we can push silver and gold down a little lower. I won't be offended if that happens. I'll be happy, especially if the cryptos go up again and I have time to get out and convert it, and then everything goes up and collapses. Then we'll see what happens. But with that being said, we are going to wrap up. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed the show. Scott Jarvie, you have a great night. Jimmy, you have a great night. Silver Wolverine, you have a great night. John Mastrom, you have a great night. Michael C., you have a great night. Crystal, I didn't even see you pop in. I'm sorry. You have a great night. I'm not sure what that VASF .tech. I'm not sure what that is, but Crystal, you have a great night. Renee, you have a great night. Peter, you have a great night. Bumblebee, you have a great night. Let's see who else we got in the room. Noco Silver, you have a great night. Jimmy, you have a great night. Chris B., you have a great night. Anybody that I might have missed, I apologize. You can leave a comment and I will hit it and mention it. I thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight. If silver's future was gone, then the premiums would not be so high. That was a comment, but the silver price would be a whole lot higher. So we'd still be paying it, one way or the other. So, and I'm fine. I understand they'd rather blame the the coin dealers for the gouging, and they'd rather bank at all these crazy entities. But here's the thing too, and I hate to get into another topic this late, but I actually went to a bank the other day, and I was with my buddy, and he went in, and I said, hey, when you go in, ask them if they sell silver coins still. And I need to do a video on that because this bank sells silver eagles to their customers. And I would love to know what the premiums are. He said they have to order them for you. I'd be curious what the premiums are on them. I bet you they're not giving them away like they want us to believe that silver is, not worth anything. Maybe I should try to convince them to sit down and do a video. I would love to do a video with someone from the bank and say, hey, I don't get it. If silver is only worth 22, why are you asking me for 35 for an eagle? Why are you asking me for 42 for an eagle? And I'm curious how high their premiums are. So with that being said, I thank everybody for watching. I will see you guys again tomorrow night. I'll have a video up, and I hope everybody has a great Friday as we close out the week. But I will have an awesome video up for you guys tomorrow. I thank everybody for watching, and keep in touch, everybody. Thank you all. And if you guys can, like and share this video. I will talk to you guys next time. Take care, everybody. Thank you, and have a great night.